I've been thinking a lot about productivity recently, and not just because I've decided to make it the theme for Capricorn season for our podcast and for everything that we're doing, but also because it is just a theme right now in a lot of the conversations that I'm having as we have been closing out 2024 with many of my one-to-one clients, the people in my Rising Star Business Academy, my incredible constellation community. We've been talking about, how do we stay grounded, focused, and creative when it feels like we may be in the season finale of the world? It feels like, in some ways, the end times. It feels like, in some ways, things are burning down. And literally, we look to Los Angeles right now. We see things are burning down. And it feels like, how can I keep working? How can I stay focused? How can I do the things that I've always dreamed of doing in a world that's falling apart? And there are a lot of topics in there in what I just said. There are a lot of different aspects. We could look at things from a mindset angle. We could look at things from a spiritual angle. We could look at things from a historical angle. We could look at things from an astrology angle. What's going on? This is once in a lifetime astrology going on right now. None of this is surprising from an astrology point of view, and yet it doesn't make it any easier to experience and process and figure out how you're going to be well in this climate, in this environment. And as business owners, as entrepreneurs, we really face a different kind of challenge, which is, how do we stay productive? How do we continue to create and bring our zone of genius to make our work better, to make it go further, and to make a positive impact on the people who are our community? How do we do that? And so when I think of being productive, it's not about producing the most. If there was an award for that, I think I could probably win. I produce a lot, right? But productivity can have a different meaning to different people. And at the end of the day, if we generalize it, I believe that true productivity is about producing the best that we can with the least amount of effort possible to receive the highest reward. And that's something that I aspire to in my life and my business. And that's why I've set this massive challenge for myself to get on top of my schedule, to get organized in my life in a way that I've never been before, to be working ahead, to be producing my best work I've ever produced, and to do it all without exhausting myself, without feeling like, oh my God, I'm just working all the time, without burning out when I already feel that at this moment in my life, due to whatever reasons, several different reasons, some physical, emotional, personal, I do not have as much energy as I used to. And I think that's going to swing up again because I'm making some very important changes in my life, which I'll share with you when the time is right, hopefully very soon. But at the moment, energy is low. And so, how do I keep the standard of my work high? How do I keep showing up for my people the way I want to? Not because I feel I have to, but because I want to. How do I show up for my son, for my friends, myself, and still be productive? Okay. So in this series, I hope you are inspired. I hope you feel supported. I hope you feel seen in some of the things that I share. In today's episode, we're diving into 5 things that you need to uplevel to be more productive. So this is part of the diagnostic process, similar to the last episode about how do I understand what's off? How do I figure out what's not working? Because a lot of times we may feel something's not working, but we don't know why. We don't know why we're not producing. We don't know why we're not feeling creative. We don't know why we're not inspired and we're not making our best work. But hopefully today's episode will really help you in that and the next couple of episodes we're going to do in this series. So without much further ado, here is episode 31. Enjoy. Are you tired of feeling like you have so much to offer in your work, but it's just not coming through? Watching what everyone else is doing and wondering whether that will work for you? Stop that right now. You've come to the right place because here on the Cosmic Queen podcast with me, Rachel Starr, you're going to discover your genius, your gifts, and how you can use your iconic cosmic blueprint to create the business and lifestyle you crave. I started my business as a side hustle alongside my successful career in tech. When I had my son during lockdown, I knew it was time to leave the corporate jungle for the entrepreneur's adventure. I'm a 2-5 manifesting generator with a Sag midheaven archetype, and I've built it all my way. Now I'm going to teach you to do the same. This is a no cookie cutter advice zone. Here we use personalized and effective systems like astrology and human design to work smarter, not harder, and have a damn good time doing it. Welcome to the Cosmic Cutting Edge. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Cosmic Queen podcast. Today we are continuing on our theme of productivity. And this may sound boring, dry. It's not. This is no snooze fest because productivity is such an essential and I think often overlooked aspect of entrepreneurship and running a business. We often, for measures of success, are going to be looking at the bottom line, right? The money that we make, and maybe the amount of time that we're working or the partnerships that we have. But truly, if you are starting a business or running a business, that you love because you want to do something that has more purpose, because you want to be doing something that gives you more fulfillment, gives you life. If you were sick and tired of your 9 to 5, like I was working as a tech management consultant for years, you came into this whole entrepreneurship wild adventure for a reason. And it wasn't just to clock in, clock out, and get a check. You could have done that anytime, any place. So the concept and area of productivity is essential for entrepreneurs to master, not just because we're doing things differently. We're not just clocking in, clocking out, taking a check, but because also we are the heart and soul of our business. And if we're not doing well, then what is the point? If we're not doing well, if we're burning ourselves out, if our output is not to the quality or level that we've been dreaming of, then what is the point? If you want to go further than you ever dreamed, if you want to take your business to the next level, if you want to be able to serve a huge number of people, I'm talking millions, right, of people with your work, then productivity has to be a priority. Now, I've really been thinking about this a lot, and I'm running this series on my podcast because it is Capricorn season at the moment. And Capricorn season is the season of ambition. It's the season of responsibility. A lot of times, people, when they talk about Capricorn, they'll talk about, oh, yeah, it's great to be ambitious, but they're all workaholics, right? They're all super stressed and anxious and just, work, 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 work. That would be the low expression of Capricorn. The high expression of Capricorn is truly being able to achieve your ambitions with an incredible team, knowing how to delegate, really rising to the level of CEO, boss, baddie that you need to be. And so high expression Capricorn energy is not burning out. They are being productive. All right, enough introduction. Let's get into the meat of today. You may have been intrigued by the title of today's podcast episode, which is, at the moment, I might change it. I always reserve the right to change my mind, but I want to call it 5 things you need to up level to be more productive. And I want to say up level because these 5 things are already operating, right? They're already there, that you're already doing them, but you may not be doing them well, or you may not be doing them to the level that you need to in order to take your business higher, in order to go the distance, in order to open up a new income stream, in order to start building a community, in order to make the kind of passive or active income that you dream of, right? So we're going to talk about the 5 things. And because we're not just boring and dry here, there's going to be an acronym. Maybe this is like my consultant days. I don't know. I don't have slides for you. I don't have 3 points. I have 5 points, but we're going to do an acronym so that it's really easy to remember. And anyone who likes to take notes, if you're driving, please don't. But anyone who likes to take notes, this is going to be, you're going to enjoy this because this is an easy way to remember. Okay, if I'm feeling a little gray, if I'm feeling a little out of it, if I'm realizing that I have so much to do, and I'm speaking from experience, I literally said that earlier this week. I have so much to do, and I feel like I don't have enough time to do it. I need to up my productivity. You've got to look at these 5 things. You've got to pay attention to these. And of course, because this is Cosmic Queen here, we are going to weave in some astrology and some human design tips and tricks along the way. This is going to be I think I would like to say one of the most valuable podcast episodes that I think we will ever do on the Cosmic Queen podcast, because this is the behind the scenes stuff. This is the nuts and bolts stuff. This is the CEO stuff we all need to be thinking about to really elevate what we do. Okay, so 5 things you need to up level to be more productive. Number one is direction. Direction is all about knowing your goal. Now, you might say to me, but Rachel, in human design, I'm, hope or innocence motivation. Yes, so am I. I'm innocence motivation. I'm not supposed to have like super specific goals that I'm supposed to. So this is direction. I'm not saying that you need to micromanage your business planning and oh, I'm not going to be happy until I get to 20K months or something like that. No, I'm talking about direction. Direction is all about where are you going? It can be where are you going this quarter, as in the next, 3 months. It could be where are you going this year? It could be where are you going in general, but you need to have an idea. If you don't have an idea and you're purely flying by the seat of your pants in your business, that's I would say an immature entrepreneur's perspective, right? You need to have an idea of where you're going, because if you don't, you'll never know what to ask for. So when you get the incredible opportunities, when you get the incredible collaborations, when someone says, "Hey, have you ever thought about," you need to have a goal to measure that against to say, is this in alignment with me or not? Otherwise, you'll just end up running around saying yes to everything instead of only saying yes to the things that are absolutely in alignment with your direction. So, for example, if you know that for you, your business needs to be super exclusive, you only want to work with a certain type of person, then it's very clear the direction that you're heading in your business. If you're saying, look, I want to be for the masses, I want to take something mainstream, which is like, for example, one of my goals with Cosmic Queen is to take cosmic systems mainstream. I don't want to stay in the comfort zone of the spiritual wellness community. I want to go big time. Knowing I want to be, out there on the talk shows. I want everyone to feel comfortable with astrology. I want it to be, a known thing, not an exclusive thing. Knowing that is going to make my decisions and my choices so much clearer as I go along, which means I'm going to end up being more productive because I'm not wasting my time doing things that don't align with the direction, right? So just as a quick example. Number two, rhythm. Okay, so you're going to see what we're spelling out as we go along. I was going to tell you in the beginning, but we're just gonna, yeah, it's going to be revealed. So, number one, direction. Number two, rhythm. Now, this I love, and I want you to hear kind of what I'm going to share with you. You may have thought about this before. This may be a completely new idea to you. I don't know, but I just know this is going to be life-changing. A really life-changing aspect of my work is helping people to work with their rhythms. Now, what do I mean by that? So with rhythms, that we have a lot of different rhythms, right? Of course, we know about the circadian rhythm, our daily energy ups and downs. Of course, if you are someone who has a menstrual cycle, you know about those rhythms, right? You know about the menstrual cycle, the rhythms, the four, major moments in the menstrual cycle, et cetera, et cetera. If you are just a person in the world, you know about the 12 months, right? We have 12 months in these rhythms, but there are other rhythms that are underlying everything that are going to support you to be more productive. One of them is understanding your seasonal cosmic rhythms. In my recent workshop, the Cosmic Kickoff, I took everyone through this new methodology that I am sharing with you, which is about really running your year according to your birth chart. As an example, there are three rest periods per year. There are certain times of year when you specifically, based on the signs that are in certain houses in your astrology birth chart, need to rest. If you are not resting during those seasons, you're pushing, pushing, forcing through, you are going to end up exhausting yourself. And that means that the next season, which could be an active season for you, you're out, you're depleted, you're exhausted. And that is the last thing that we want, right? And so understanding your rest seasons and your active seasons is really important. Not all of us have a lot of energy to be out and about running around in the summertime. That may be, whoever decided it, well, I'm thinking of Northern Hemisphere here, but whoever decided that, summer is June, July, August, and that's when we all go on holiday. That doesn't work for everyone. For some people, August may be a deep rest season. For some people, August may be a big visibility season. I'll give you one in particular. Pay attention to the sign that's in your 12th house. That is called what I like to call deep rest season. So pay attention. What zodiac sign in your birth chart is in the 12th house? So paying attention to that, planning that, knowing that you're not going to do a big launch in your business at that time. You're not going to go and book a TED Talk in that time. You're not going to go into a podcast tour in that time because that is deep rest. You're not going to have the energy. And if you push yourself too hard, you could end up causing issues and burning out, right? So knowing your cosmic seasonal rhythms as you go through the 12 signs of the zodiac every year is going to make you much more productive person because you're honoring when you need to rest and you're honoring when you are active. So that's one aspect of this idea of rhythms. The other aspect is that we all have an underlying base rhythm to our creative energy. So I have created a new set of archetypes. This is going to be the next podcast episode. So make sure you click on the subscribe button, that you're all subscribed to the Cosmic Queen podcast so that you get this and you get the notification. Make sure you're on my Substack, all the things. But I'm going to take you through in that next episode the three productivity styles known by the three productivity archetypes. This again is my IP that I've created, but what I did is I figured out how our creative energy works. Some of us are super consistent. I would say the vast minority of people are super consistent in their creative energy, meaning you can show up to a corporate job every day, 9 to 5, and have the same capacity to create. You're like, yep, paint a masterpiece, absolutely on command. I can do it. I know how to do it. I just rinse and repeat and I show up and I'm consistent. That's one of the archetypes. I'm not going to tell you the names. I'll tell you those soon. I'm just teasing you. It's so fun. Or you could be the polar opposite, which is another one of the archetypes where your creative energy, you don't know what it's going to be from day to day. That you show up and you're like, I'm out. I am tapped out. I'm in the void right now. I do not have energy to be doing all of these things and creating and being creative. And then the next day, you're on fire with ideas. You are so lit up and you're like, let me at the canvas. I'm gonna paint a masterpiece. Okay. Knowing that rhythm, everyone is one of these three archetypes, by the way. I haven't even mentioned the third one, which is really unique. So everyone is one of these three. Knowing that about yourself is going to help you to schedule yourself better, to understand what kind of commitments you can take on, understand how you can work on projects and launches. This is major. This is affecting everything about your weekly, daily, monthly schedule. This episode is brought to you by Productivity and Power, the all new human design and energy course from me, Rachel Starr of Cosmic Queen. I'm so excited to introduce you to this new course. It's running on 2 days, January 21st and January 28th. There are 2 modules, and it is going to just blow your mind. It's about understanding your human design and how your human design affects your energy cycles. Understanding how knowing all of that is going to affect the way that you schedule yourself, the way you set up your week, the way you set up your goals, your projects, the way that you manage your energy and your time. We often think about managing our goals, managing our budgets, managing our teams, but what about how we manage our energy, right? A lot of times we just think, well, if we've got something to do, we're just going to push through. Let me tell you, I am not just Cosmic Queen, I am the queen of pushing through. And sometimes that's helpful when you're in a crisis, but sometimes that is absolutely not helpful when you're acting like you're in a crisis, when you're just in a normal February. You can't be acting like this or treating yourself as if you're a machine. This is something that I hated about working in corporate. And I'm so grateful that I'm out. But the thing is, I brought a lot of bad habits with me. And my guess is that if you're an entrepreneur that used to have a day job, you understand what that's like. You bring so many of those bad habits with you. So, in Productivity and Power, we're going to spend two modules live if you're going to join us in January next week to learn how to stop the cycle of burnout and how to embrace your cosmic rhythms. We're going to talk about those rhythms, understanding through the lens of your human design, especially looking at your motor centers. We're also going to be introducing all new archetypes for your productivity. I talk a little bit about that in this episode, but we're going to talk about, okay, what is your normal flow? Are you a project-oriented person? Are you super inconsistent? Are you super consistent? What type of energy do you have? Are you in creative mode, void mode, admin mode? What the heck does that mean? She's using a lot of words. Come along to Productivity and Power, and you'll discover how you can better manage your energy and get more by doing less. It's going to be fabulous. I cannot wait to do this. Let me know if you have any questions. Of course, you can always DM me on social media or click the link in the show notes and come and join us. It's going to be a fantastic ride and incredibly valuable and useful to you, especially if you are a business owner or an entrepreneur that sets your own time. All right, now back to the episode. Okay, I've got to speed things up here. So, number three is environment. For this, I have a masterclass, which is called the Human Design for Environment Masterclass. The understanding your human design environment is crucial. The environment that you are designed to do your creative best output and work in is the one you should be in regularly. If you don't live in that environment, that's okay, but get yourself there minimum of one time a week. I'll give you an example. There are 6 human design environments. We're all born with one. So there's markets, shores, valleys, mountains, kitchens, and caves. If you are a markets person, I'm markets, and you're living in rural, end of the train line land, you are going to feel so unproductive. You are not going to be switched on, your body or your mind, when it comes to creativity. It's going to be really hard to get the juice together to do things, and that's just a fact. And I can attest to that when I've lived in kind of rural, villagey type places. I lived in Windsor during the pandemic. Whew, so hard, so hard. I thought something was wrong with me. I was like, what is going on? It's human design environment. When I got back to London and started living in the hustle bustle city again, I came alive. And now I make sure that I'm going and working in a cafe at least once a week. It is essential for your productivity, your creativity, and inspiration. Number 4, skills. In order to, and this is one people don't think about, they just think, oh, I just need to work more hours to be more productive, right? No, it's about working smarter, not harder. If you don't have the skills required to do the thing that you're trying to do, then it's going to take you so much longer, right? And productivity is all about getting the highest amount of reward for the least amount of effort. And so if you don't have a skill, outsource it or upskill it. You've got to make sure that you've got this. So, for example, if you are terrible at copywriting, right? Start learning AI now. Start learning AI can help you with copywriting, or hire a copywriter, or just upskill yourself and learn the art of copywriting. Don't keep struggling and spending 2 hours per email. You see what I mean? If you can do it in 15 minutes, all the better. So, skills is another way that you really need to improve your efficiency and your productivity. Absolutely. So, look at that. If you're thinking, I'm not very productive. Is it a skills thing? Ask yourself that question. Is it a number one direction thing? Number two, rhythm thing? Number three, environment thing. You're in the wrong environment. Number four, a skills thing. Number five, spirit. So now you can see what we've spelled. Dress, right? Dress for success. Okay. That's how you're going to remember your productivity, the five things that you need to up level for productivity. Dress. So spirit. And I'll end on this note because I've got to go pick up my little boy from school. So dress will help you to remember the things you need to look at and how you can recognize it. It's not your fault. Spirit is the final one because it's the biggest one. So many times when we're like, I'm just not being productive, I'm just not being creative, I'm just not making my masterpiece. It could be because of anxiety. It could be because of mental health challenges. It could just be because we are completely demotivated and uninspired. And we need to stop beating ourselves up about this, right? This is not helpful to get down on ourselves and whip ourselves for not being productive when our spirit needs support, when our spirit needs some love, when our spirit needs some motivation, right? You could be in the wrong job. You could be running the wrong business. You could be working with the wrong people. You could be in the wrong place. You could be not following your rhythms. All of these different things could be what's wrong. Or it could be that actually you need to take time for your spirit right now. You need to take a beat. You need to use some tools. You need to get in deep into the healing, the well-being, the self-love, the self-care. Maybe hire a mentor, maybe learn breath work, meditation, work with crystals. There's so many tools. There's something for everyone out there. Um, our spirit is so, so essential. If our spirit is broken, if our spirit is bruised, then productivity needs to be on the back burner for a minute, needs to wait a minute so that we can get up to speed, can support ourselves and love ourselves back to a place where we're ready to paint again. And that's when we can truly create our masterpiece. So, okay, so that's everything I want to cover today. We talked about the five things you need to up level to be more productive. I hope this was helpful. I hope that this episode really supports you to figure it out if you've been kind of like trying to figure it out. If you've been struggling to identify what's not working and why, tap into these five things, sit with them, love on yourself a little bit more, and then put together a plan. Figure out your actions. Which dial needs to be turned? Which thing do you need to up level most? And start there. I love you all so much. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. And next episode, you're going to tune into, we're going to be talking about the productivity archetypes. As I always say, keep reaching for the stars.